Testing. All right, we should be live. Give people a few minutes to get into the stream and then we'll get started. I'll be right back in a couple minutes.
face. Facebook bouncing a little bit.
All right, I'm back. Hey, Monkey 25, what's going on? How are you doing, Bitcoin? Yeah, we'll do Bitcoin a little later on. Start off with SPY. Excuse me. So today was pretty straightforward. We had a bearish profile on the start of the day. You bounced up on the value area low of, what was that? The 27th. And then you reclaimed the value area low of yesterday. And I told you guys in Discord that you had an 80% trade possible. So 80% as in the 80% technique when you do... Where's my tool here? Oops. When you leave a value area. So right here we left the value area, pulled back up, and then retested it multiple times, a little double bottom there. So once you lose that area and then retest it, so reclaim it, you have an 80% chance to go to the other side of that area. So that trade happened around 11:20. And then I told you guys in Discord, let me grab the screenshot. I've been putting a bunch of alerts in Discord. So I have, there's a bot in Discord that calls out my little volume profile levels. So from now on, I'm like in the morning, I'm going to put some alerts on each like node, value area high, value area low, POC, basically any levels that I think are very important. And when those levels are broken or being tested, the bot will call them out. So right here is a good example. Where did it call it out? Right here. Here you go. So this one here, we had the 30-minute close. I told you guys to look for a 30-minute close above 437.50. We had that 30-minute close, so you would have been targeting 440.09. This was a typo here. It's supposed to be 440.09, and that was the value area high. So once you reclaimed the low here with a 30-minute close, went straight up. So this is a perfect example of how to trade one of those 80% trades. So if you guys watched the How to Trade Volume Profile series and you were looking for live examples of that 80% rule, this is literally textbook. You had the, well, I wouldn't say textbook, because textbook, you were actually supposed to open up down here. So open below the value area and then reclaim it. That would have been textbook. This is damn near perfect. You did open inside the value area, so it was technically an inside day. But then once we lost it and then reclaimed it, from there on it was textbook. Okay. So very clean trade there. Once you reclaimed these levels here, it was pretty obvious that you were just going to go straight up. So once you broke the POC of yesterday, there's not a whole lot of resistance above us because we did have that capital B-shaped profile. And I told you guys yesterday there was two things you wanted to look for on today's price action. You wanted to see if it was going to retrace to kind of fill in this gap here, or you wanted to see a failure down to fill the gap way back here. So we almost filled that gap. You came down and kind of bounced off the low that we put in on the 27th. So we still have a gap below us that we have not filled. So that's a little worrying because we are bouncing so hard. But the first thing that we were looking for was to fill in this gap. That pretty much happened. So we had a little pop up here, and then we put a nice node in right where there was no node yesterday. So if we grabbed both these days, so if we did something like this, you see how there's not really a gap there anymore? There's a small gap, but not really. You've got like a single print gap there, and that's about it. That's actually not a single print, but it's a small gap. But yeah, so this little fill in there, that's very very efficient. We did kind of fill in that price action. It did actually give you a little bit of resistance on that node that we put in on what is that, Friday. But then once that node got filled in, it became support, and then from there on, you just went straight up. So we have a new node forming here, acting as support, and then we also have this POC being shifted to the high. So the POC started out way down here, and then you were actually pushing lower throughout the morning session. But then once you started to climb here, the POC did shift towards the high, so it's very bullish. Okay, so now moving forward, we have support there, and then not really any support until we get back down to there. And then if we do break above this current level that we're testing, you have another 80% trade. So stay above this level, you're looking at 441.50. Okay. So you want to see like at least a 15-minute, maybe a 30-minute close above that level, and then you would be targeting that level there. Yeah, Dom, the bot helps me out a lot too in the analysis channel, because I want to make sure I'm watching all these levels. So it's half for me, half for you guys, for sure. All right, that's SPY. Qs is pretty much the same thing. I'll go over Qs very quickly. Pretty much the same thing though. Your initial balance was very wide. You had a nasty sell-off in the morning. Put in a nice little double bottom accumulation there. Once you reclaimed the value area low, you had your 80% trades here. So you had an 80% trade from there to there. That was finished almost immediately. And then we had another trade once we reclaimed this level here, all the way up to this level here. So both those trades did hit their targets. So if you guys took those trades, you should have done very well. There was almost no drawdown. Now moving forward, let's actually delete all these levels. Let's start fresh. Moving forward, we do have some levels up here that could give you another 80% trade. You can see how we are actually acting as resistance. The top of today is the value area low of the 29th. Okay. So once we reclaim this, you should very quickly be able to get to 367.36. Okay. If you can't reclaim that, then you do have a lot of support kind of around this POC node here. And then we have a little gap down here that you want to watch. And then we have today's value area low right around there. Notice how today's value area high is the exact same as the 29th. All right, let's move on to Bitcoin. So Bitcoin today, you're just losing value, really. You had kind of a triple top happen here, or a double top, I should say. You had the top right there and the top right there, double topped you, and then you lost value. You can see you went from value area low there to value area low here. So value was decreasing. Once you lost that level, you continued lower, and we can see that we're just putting in lower value all the way down. So value decreased again. If we look at our previous levels, you can see that you had an 80% trade here as well. So once you reclaim this level there, you would have been targeting this level down here, which did get hit. So that could have given you a very nice trade, actually, 40,700 down to 38,300. So that's a massive trade you could have made just from using the 80% technique. Now we are trying to reclaim it, but we're still below it slightly. This has one of those like bottoming patterns. You have that 3 drives down. So you put in a low, a new low, a new low, but we are trying to bounce. So this probably is giving you a bull div. Very, very slight bull div coming in. If you can reclaim, what is that? like 38.7, it would look pretty bullish. But you need to maintain above that level. If you stay back here, let's see, your next major support would be... There's really nothing until you get down to like 35,000. Yeah, there's not a whole lot until you're down to 35,000. So if you lose this level below like 37.5, I would keep an eye on 35,000. He said, what do I think about copper? I would really appreciate it if you mentioned. Yeah, let me take a look. So first off, let's take a look at the daily because it is a commodity chart. So you want to look at it long term. This looks like a textbook bulldog. So you have a double bottom with a curved back, popping up and then pulling back. This is typically very bullish. As long as we maintain above the accumulation, which we currently are by the dip signal, this is very bullish. We need to get back above the 50-day and then get back above kind of this little area right here, which would be above like $4.55. And then you should easily be going for a new high. But yeah, not too bad. Buy the dip signal. Bulldog. Let's go down to a 30-minute. Let's see what we can see on the volume profile. So volume profile, we did get this 80% trade. So this is actually a perfect day for teaching the 80% technique. You're getting a lot of these. So we traded outside this value. A lot of trades happening up here, right? Then we returned back inside that value. We tested it there and then broke back inside of it. Let me zoom in. Tested it here, broke back inside of it, and then look at what you did. You fulfilled your trade. So here's your entry. There's your target. No drawdown. Now once that's fulfilled, you can go back up. So now we're bouncing back. If it can stay outside this value area high here, you would be looking for a reclaim of 445 and then look to get 452. Doesn't look too bad. So right now, SPY is just being very bullish. Higher lows, higher highs. Reclaiming the resistance nodes as support. Look at this big level that we just reclaimed. You see this node back here? Look at that node. We're reclaiming this massive node from yesterday as support. So right now it's not bad. A little bit of a bear div coming in, but not too bad. Notice how we have an inefficiency gap right here, right? So there's no price action here. So if the profile wants to be balanced, you have to fill in this area, right? Because you have not been tested on the gap. And then we had no price action there on that day as well. So if it wants to be very bullish, or not, I shouldn't say very bullish. If it wants to be very efficient, it needs to retest that area, which it did beautifully yesterday. And you had that fill in on that massive node there. And now that massive node is acting as support. So this is very bullish. You might even get your 80% trade today. So we had an 80% trade to the downside and an 80% trade to the upside. Or sorry, not to the downside. They were both to the upside. Because this was to the upside here. And now we might have another one here. Very, very bullish day. I know my chart's a little messy, but do you guys understand what I'm talking about here? Do you guys see why this was such a important reclaim? Like this trade here was very, very obvious. Lose the value area, bounce back, bull flag, and then rip back to the high. It was very bullish once we reclaimed this massive node here as well. So you had that massive node right there. And then look at that retest. Beautiful retest. Popped up. And then now we just reclaimed this node here. So yesterday had a capital B-shaped profile like this, right? But we also had kind of a third node right here. So we had two nodes here, one there, and we kind of had like another node there. So it was almost like a triple B. And how you would trade that for the next day is pay attention to how those nodes are reacting to price, right? Or how price is reacting to the node, I should say. Once these are reclaimed as support, you just go on to the next node. And then you go on to the next node. And then now we're above all the nodes, we're very bullish. If it used these nodes as resistance, so like we popped up here, and then this was resistance, then it should fall back to the previous node, so this one down here, right? So if this popped up here and then started to like flag out, this would look like it wanted to go back down to that node on the bottom, right? But it did not do that. It blew right through that node, so very, very bullish. And then it even gave you a retest. So if you missed the breakout trade, you got the retest trade. And you can see how these blue lines here, this is where our initial balance started. So this was the first hour of the day. So the first hour of the day was pretty bearish. You were pretty wide to the downside. And most of the price action was towards the low of the day. But then we reclaimed that initial balance high very quickly. So once we broke that level, we were very bullish. He said, is there any significance of the contraction and expansion of the value area during a session? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I know what you mean by expansion. I'm not sure what you mean by contraction, because the volume profile will never contract. Once it is made its levels towards the high and the low, they will never contract. Or sorry, you said value area. My bad. So value area contracting. So I guess you mean like if it had a wide session in the beginning, but then it started to kind of hover like this, the value area would contract. Okay. So that just means you're balancing. That's all that means. So you're balancing out. You would be making a balanced profile if you did that. Because if you contract towards the middle, you're balancing. If it's expanding, you are not balancing. You're creating an imbalance. So your job as a trader is to figure out what side the imbalance is on. Are you imbalanced towards the high or the low? Right? So like if your value area was here, but then you started to expand, and then you had a lot of volume up here, and now your value area is up here, then you are imbalanced towards the high. Right. The top target on SPY you have is 441.48. That is the value area high of the 29th. So the 80% trade would be from here to here. This was the 80% trade that did not get an entry on yesterday's price action. Hey, Alan, I appreciate it, man. So you have the value area low here, value area high there. Once we have a 15-minute or a 30-minute close, depending on how conservative you want to be, we already have our 50-minute, actually 2.5 minutes. 50-minute close will come in. 30-minute close, same thing, 2.5 minutes, or about 3 minutes, I should say. So once that closes, that target is very likely. Sadly, if you wait for the closes here, you're already halfway to your target, so you're missing out on a lot of profit. So like if you're waiting for the close and you close like right around the middle, it's probably not worth taking that trade anymore because your risk reward is not good. like I told you guys earlier, I look for at least a 1.5. So if you take the middle, that's a 1-to-1. Your risk and your reward are the same. Now this is still a good trade because your risk to reward is the same, but your percentage chance to win is very high. That's not a bad trade. Just not the style of trade that I would take very happily. Now, if you were like, say like you took this massive trade down here, and you got this 80% trade from here to here, and you're sitting on a lot of profit on the day, you could probably take that trade because if you took the loss, it's not going to hurt you very much. You got like a cushion. Dom, sometimes on TradingView, it's not supposed to do this, but TradingView is bugged. If you're using different time frames, it will change the profile. So make sure you're on a 5-minute. And then I just have 170 as my settings. And you can see where my value area is. It's right there. We're almost there. We have a nice little uptrend. So here is a good example of the comparison between ES and SPY. So yesterday's profile on ES is very different from SPY's profile. SPY's profile, we've already finished the trade, right? The 80% trade. ES, we have not finished yet. We would have to get all the way up to 44.19 to finish that trade. How was our pre-market session today? Let's see. So you can see the pre-market session was slightly bullish. Most of the volume towards the high, but then you had that nasty nuke before the open. Actually, that was at the open. So right at the open, we sold off. But then once we reclaimed that pre-market session, it was very bullish. And you could have had kind of a... This isn't the same 80% technique, but you could have used it the same way. So, like, this is our pre-market session. Once we lose that level and then reclaim it, you could take that trade right here. And then you had that retest there, which was really beautiful. So we have the 80% trade, and then we have the continuation. Look at how much support you're building below you. You have all this support right here. You have all this support right here. And then now we're building a little bit of resistance if it can't break this. But then look at that. We have all this right here. We have all this right here. Like having all these nodes back to back is very bullish. I can't remember who coined the term, but some volume profile books tell you to look at the profile as a tree. So like if this was a tree and price had to fall downward, you have to bounce off all these branches. Like these are branches that are going to catch your fall. So if you have all these branches below you and you're falling, you're not going to hit the ground as fast, right? Yeah, Dom, that's why I stick to 30-minute on the futures. Because if you change the time frame, TradingView messes the profile up. That's why, to be honest, like if you guys are going deep into volume profile and you want to be exact, TradingView is not the best platform because they're not built for volume profile. They're not an order flow platform. Something like Sierra Charts is built for order flow. So like if you want to get crazy with it, I would use Sierra Charts. I've never tried them out, to be honest. I've just watched a lot of videos, and I know a lot of order flow guys that use them. I might check them out here pretty soon.
Hey, check out the bounce on Apple right now.
The one thing that an order flow platform will help you with is they have built-in things that will draw out the value areas, and they'll have like little numbers and tell you where they are. Like they'll do all this, like all the levels that I'm making, they do all that for you pretty much. Yeah, Apple looks pretty good. Little bull flag. So like every day that I go here and I draw out the initial balance and I draw out the value area, they do that for you. Main reason I stick to TradingView is I have all my indicators on TradingView. And I don't mind putting in the work and finding these levels. Eventually, I'm going to code some indicators for TradingView that will do this for me. The problem is I'm not going to be able to let you guys use them because it's against TradingView's rules. Crypto, I haven't tried Go charting before, but ExoCharts is not bad. If you're doing crypto trading and you want to do order flow trading, ExoCharts is pretty good. I have videos on ExoCharts if you want to watch them. They're in my How to Trade playlist. They are basically the same as Sierra charts. Like they're basically just copying Sierra charts. How much is Sierra charts nowadays? Let me go take a look. The one downside to Sierra charts that I've seen across the board that people say is it's very complicated and complex because it's a boomer platform. Like that platform has been around for a long time, and they haven't done very many updates. They do like updates every now and then, but like here, look at their website for example. This is a boomer website. Like, does this not look like an early 2000s website? You can just tell by looking at their website it's an old platform. Like there's not even a pricing thing. Like where's their pricing? Pricing, here we go. Like look at how bad this website is. Standard Sierra chart, $26 a month. That's actually not bad. I don't know what standard gets you, because once again, their site is dog shit. Like, imagine how much money this company makes, and they have not updated their website. It's the same exact thing with Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas is like the best scanner platform for stocks, but they've been around for so long that their mentality is if it's not broke, don't fix it right. Like they don't care. Their website is outdated. Then we have advanced features here that comes with TPO, number bars, market depth. So this seems like standard. So $36 a month. That's actually not bad. This is with no data feeds though. Sierra charts, you have to pay for data feeds as well. So it seems like their highest plan is 56 a month. That's not bad actually. They used to be a lot more. What is the Denali exchange data feed? This is actually not bad. These data feeds are usually very expensive. So if that comes with a data feed for 46 a month, that's actually not bad at all. Maybe I'll check them out and I'll make a little series on them. We'll do that down the line. That's gonna be like way down the line though, because I'm gonna have to figure out how to use the platform. I've never used them before. So that'll be our next series, I guess, on volume profile. We'll be using CR charts. Yeah, exactly. Crypto, they have very outdated systems. They are like the godfather of this type of trading, though. Like volume profile trading, market profile trading, they're like the godfather of that. Their platform made it very popular. If you guys are a lot older traders and you guys have been around for a while, what started making volume profile very popular was the DOMs. The DOMs back in the day. So like stuff that looks like this. This is a standard DOM. So this DOM is very, very standard. All it has is the price, and then it has like the bid and the ask, right? There are very complex DOMs that have volume profiles. They have TPOs, all kinds of crazy shit. That's what made order flow trading like very, very popular, was the DOMs. I was actually designing my own DOM for a little bit with some guys in Discord, but I put that on hold. We'll eventually come out with a DOM down the line. It's a good it's a good platform, but it's not easy to work with. You've been using it for a year. Yeah, that's what I hear, man. That's the only downside that I hear is the platform is very outdated. I don't know why they don't update it. They have so much money. They're the leading market share for market profile, I'm pretty sure. I wonder if there's any like new companies that have opened up in the past couple of years that have like super innovative market profile designs. Let me see. Volume profile trading platforms. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything that I haven't seen before. Sierra charts #1, and then Exo charts is on there. Trading views on there. Bookmap, yeah, we've already seen Bookmap. Jigsaw, we've already seen that. Jigsaw has a nice DOM as well. And then Ninja Trader, we've already gone over them. We're actually partnering with Ninja Trader. Who is this? I haven't seen them before. Quant Tower, I actually have seen them. They're fairly new. I checked them out a little while ago. I think Sticky might have tried them out before. Can you look at Costco? Yeah, let's take a look. Wow, is it 435? Jesus, I closed my shares way too early. So we took this breakout trade, if you guys remember. We took this breakout. We were looking for 400 and 410. So I closed half at 400, closed the other half at 410. Now it's at 435. Jesus. Like I was saying in Discord, though, Costco is a company you will always sell early. Unless you're planning on holding it forever, you will always sell early because Costco only goes up. You are never going to sell the top on Costco. Yeah, they look good, man. The like if we're taking a fib trade, this thing's probably just now hitting its first targets. Yeah, there you go. So if you take the fib for the long-term trade here, first targets would be 430 and 440. Next targets are not till 470, 480. Those are very far out targets, obviously. But that's the long-term trade. And then you could take like a shorter term trade probably on this little local impulse right here. Same thing, hitting our first targets. And then 450, 456, 475 would be the final target. It's a very clean uptrend. Just paid dividends too. Not bad. I should have definitely held on to my shares. I was trading with a bigger size. I was looking for a smaller trade. Lockdown's coming back. Yeah, I don't think that's going to really affect Costco too much. Like I don't think that's why Costco's going up. I think Costco is just a beast of a company. The COVID news is not really having a major impact on a lot of stocks right now. People just don't really care anymore. They stopped caring a few months ago. Probably even longer than that, really. The market just doesn't care anymore. The thing with COVID is, yes, we're seeing the cases go up, but the deaths are very low, right? Even between unvaccinated and vaccinated, the deaths are very low because we've gotten much better at treating COVID. So the fear of like it spreading and just massacring people, like it's not there anymore. There's no widespread fear of COVID just obliterating our population, right? They're trying to make it sound like there is. The media is trying to make it sound really, really bad. But even at its peak, the death rate was extremely low. And now we've gotten very good at treating it, so the death rate is extremely low. So that fear is not in the market anymore. As you can see with VIX, VIX is down to 18. Like VIX below 20, like it doesn't care. VIX below 20, VIX below 20, like 22, it does not care about COVID. The only sector of companies that I think are still paying attention to COVID are some pharmaceuticals and the mass companies, right? So like 3M, Honeywell, APT. You can look at the COVID-related companies too, like Zoom, Netflix, Roku, stuff like that. What is that, Rob? Is that an order flow platform? I don't think I've heard of that. Or is that a stock? What are you talking about? SPY is still holding this uptrend. Looks pretty good. Yeah, Sean. They were a big data broker back then too, I believe. NinjaTrader was who I started with way back in the day. They have a good system, but they're also kind of outdated. All the boomer platforms, they have not innovated the way that TradingView has. That's why TradingView controls the market, because TradingView is a new platform and they are very smooth. Their UI is very easy for new traders to understand, old traders to understand. New traders trying to get into Sierra charts or NinjaTrader is very difficult. And if I had one gripe with TrendSpider, they're another one of our partners. Their platform is fantastic. My only gripe with their platform is it's also a little clunky. Like it feels a little it feels like a hybrid of a boomer platform and an innovative platform. But their pros greatly outweigh their cons. I still think of TrendSpider more as a testing and scanning platform than I do as a like a full-on charting platform. Like where they excel is creating strategies, testing them, scanning for those strategies, making market scanners. Even like their alert system is very, very good. So like they do excel in those areas. When it comes down to just charting, just the bare bones of charting, I think TradingView is still ahead. It's ahead of every single charting platform. The problem with TradingView is they don't fix the major bugs that they have, and they focus on shit that nobody asked for. They constantly make changes that people don't even like. So they are not connected to their community. Do I use TPO? Only when I'm scalping. I had TPO on my ExoCharts platform, on my what's it called, layout. But no, when I'm trading normally, I just use volume profile. I don't use TPO. The main things I use in my trading are the OTS, which is the Oasis Trading Suite, the Momo, volume profile, and then I throw in like VWAP and moving averages and all that stuff every now and then as well. But those three are my bulk: OTS, Momo, volume profile. OTS pivots. I look for like Momo divergence, Momo momentum, obviously, like when the trend is shifting momentum. And then volume profile, basically everything that we went over last week. Hustle, it's an indicator that I made. These are all proprietary indicators. Oasis Trading Suite's proprietary. The Momo's proprietary. We have the Auto SR, which is probably the most popular. I have the trading bot that I have not released yet. This is going to be released fairly soon. I'm very, very far behind on this. Once I'm situated in my new house and I have a lot more free time, we're going to release the bot. Yeah, it's all proprietary stuff. It's all coded inside PineScript. Trading Views code. What time is it? We got about 5 minutes left on the day. You're still holding this uptrend. If SPY can close towards the high of the day, very likely going to go higher tomorrow. Very big volume coming in on Q's shares on that dip. Q's getting a lot of volume there. Yeah, look, it shifted the POC. So that volume came in, shifted the POC. This looks really strong here. Yeah, Hustle. At first, I had a coder that used to work with me. And then after he coded a few indicators for me, I kind of learned how to code on my own. And then the rest of the indicators I coded myself. Coding is very simple once you have open source examples. So like once you have code for each little thing that you want to do, it's just all about putting them together. Yeah, all of our indicators are available on our website, oasistrading.io. If you go to our store on there, all of our indicators are available there. We also have a bundle where you can get all of them for one price. The bundle is $89 right now, I believe, and then the individuals are $39. We also have one time if you guys don't like paying monthly. If you guys are volume profile traders, I highly recommend using the Momo and the OTS. The Auto SR is also helpful as well for volume profile trading. You just want to use the levels that it gives you. You can ignore the other stuff. So like if I pull up the Auto SR here, if you're doing volume profile trading, you can basically have it the way that I have it right now. You can turn off the ribbon and the trend line and just use the levels. And these will help you a lot with your volume profile trading. You can use fast or slow, but I recommend using slow. Fast is more for scalping. I recommend using slow. Yeah, I demo them regularly. Basically every single day I'm using them. Hustle. I haven't been using them too much on stream lately because I've been teaching the volume profile stuff. But before we were doing the volume profile stuff, it's basically every single day. And I'm going to go back to throwing them on the chart once you guys understand how to read these levels. This is a beautiful close. We have 3 minutes left. You're closing on the high of day. Very, very strong close. POC shifted towards the high, which is also very bullish. You had a massive spike in volume. You guys can't see it because I don't have the volume on this chart right here. Massive spike in volume here on SPY and Qs. Look at that spike right there. That's a block trade coming in with over 1 million shares. Very bullish close. This is what would be called an outside day. So we have our value area right here. And then now we have broken the high and broken the low. So we have an outside day. This was also an outside day. So you have 2 outside days back to back. If the profile was like somewhere in here, this would be an inside day. Outside days are obviously more volatile. What are you trading? Right now, I've got some shipping companies. I've got Netflix, Chewy, PayPal. Those are my biggest positions. I've got Coinbase as well. Everything else I'm just day trading based on the levels that I'm putting in analysis for you guys. So I made a new bot in Discord for you guys that are just coming into stream. It's a volume profile bot. So every morning I'm going to put in alerts on the levels that I want you guys to pay attention to. And the Discord bot is going to alert them in real time when they are hit. And I'm going to put targets. I'm going to put like what style of a trade it is, what's happening. Like, is it breaking above the value area high? Is it breaking the value area low? Is there an 80% possible trade? Is POC breaking? Stuff like that. So from now on, I'm going to be putting in those alerts basically at 9:30, and they'll go off as the day develops. Yeah, Hustle, have a good one, man. Look at this close. So here is your next 80% trade. You almost got it. The day just closed. This is most likely going to fulfill that trade tomorrow. But you had an 80% trade. Your entry was here. So once it re-entered right there, that's your entry. Then your target was there. So target hit. Now we have our entry here. And then we're targeting here because of this value area. Very clean. Today was very, very clean for volume profile, guys. There should not have been any confusion today. If you guys watch those videos, you learn those techniques, nothing today was confusing. Okay, I take that back. One thing was confusing. When you opened, you started nuking these value areas. So typically, you probably would have went down and filled the gap. In most other cases, you probably would have went down and filled the gap. But today didn't do that. So that was the one thing that was kind of confusing. Everything else was by the book. Level retest, target hit. Level retest, level retest, level retest. You're just constantly reclaiming nodes as support. And then retesting them and going higher. Very bullish day. Okay, so yesterday I told you guys at close what you wanted to look for. One of the things I told you guys to look for did happen, that 80% trade. So now tomorrow, what do we want to look for? We have a P-shaped profile with a little bit of imbalances, but mostly P-shaped. So this is a bullish close. So I'm going to clean this up. Let's just delete everything. We'll start fresh. We have our value area low there, which we did just retest. We have our value area high there. We're going to mark these out for tomorrow. We have this level there as well. And then this level here. I'm using red from now on. So like red will be previous days. And then I'll use blue for current days. Hey, Alan, you said that 80-20 trade technique you taught last week is the bomb. I used it to snag an $800 day. Hey, no problem, man. I'm happy to help. I'm glad you can make some money. But yeah, okay, so we have our 2 resistance levels moving forward for tomorrow. We have a support right here at 440.63. And then we have another support right here on this node. We have another support right here. And then we have a major support right here on the POC. So like those are some key areas that you want to watch for tomorrow to see if they act as support or resistance, right? One thing to watch for tomorrow as well is if we fulfill this trade, but then we say do something like this, and then we come down, if it re-enters this value area, that's very bad. So if it pops up, consolidates, and then re-enters, this is very bad. If you get a 30-minute close on a re-entry, you could target a complete failure back down to 437 for another 80% trade. Okay? So watch out for that. That would be like the most bearish scenario tomorrow. The most bullish scenario is you just take these highs and then you just keep putting in support nodes, right? So if we pop out for an all-time high, which would be above 441.80, excuse me, then you just want to look for the nodes building. So like pop up, build a node, use it as support, build a node, use it as support. Okay? So very standard. But all right, guys, that's it. Appreciate you guys being here. Analysis will be posted later tonight. It's probably going to be a little late like yesterday was. So just make sure to check that out either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow morning, I will set up the alerts for the volume profile levels. So make sure to keep an eye on the analysis channel in Discord. The alerts will be going off as those levels are being tested. Make sure to watch out for that. But all right, guys. You guys, if you guys liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, same time as always. Peace out, guys.